Welcome back to Keeping It Relevant. We're back here with Alex,
Cody,
and John.
Here to give you our next episode of pop culture and everything relevant in this era. That's pretty much what I got. I know John wanted to talk about something right now.
All right, I could start off the episode. So some of you might know I do OTTRs, which is an acronym for Out of the Theater Reviews. I just want to give an update on my Out of the Theater Reviews. Right now I've seen, you think I'd have this number, I think I've seen roughly 10 movies this year.
Yeah. You sure it's not 6?
Why is it 6?
Is it 6?
I thought it was 10.
Or is it 7?
Oh, it could be 6,
6,
7.
We're so old.
So, I think, okay, but realistically, I do think it was 10, just because I did do 2 practice OTTRs prior.
Yep.
That being said, I'm just going to name those movies real quick. The first one I did was Get Help, which was an incredible movie. Go watch it. It's finally on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Is that the one I watched with you?
No. No. That was... Don't remember that one.
Or
No.
They Will Kill You.
They Will Kill You, yeah. Get Help. I didn't give my otter, but really quick, it's a great movie. Go watch it. Not as scary as you would think, but it is suspenseful and it is hilarious, and it really gives you a good little emotional roller coaster a little bit. By the way, we have a cat and a dog fighting. That's not a euphemism for anything. We literally have a dog and a cat fighting. So if that's what you're hearing, that's what it is. It's not Cody getting riled up. So the second movie I saw, which was okay, it's not on my greatest disappointment list, but if I did count this for my otters, it might be my greatest disappointment list, and that's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die.
I told you to wait on that one.
You did, but the trailers and the premise and everything looked so good. And it was so good, and then the last 20 minutes became an acid trip for, like, no reason. The very ending was really good, but, like, I don't know. It wasn't what I was hoping it was going to be, and I understand leave your expectations at the door, but it was, I don't know, it was crazy. But right now, my number one favorite movie of the year has to be The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Of course.
It was so good. It was so good. It wasn't a direct sequel to the first one. It was... I wouldn't even classify it as a sequel because the objectives, of the characters and who they are and what they stand for now was completely different than the first movie. And it wasn't really relevant. You could really just watch this movie by itself and not watch the first one and understand, okay, they used to work together, there's a relevance here, and everything's fine. I would go watch it, it's great. I heard something, I don't know if it's true or not, and anyone could correct me on this. I heard it was the first movie Meryl Streep showed up in live action and not voicing something in like 11 years or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but when I started thinking about it, I was like, I can't remember the last time I saw Meryl Streep in anything.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I think you're right. I know she did one, but I'm pretty sure it was a VA.
Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. I think it's still showing in some theaters. It's going to be a while because Disney's awesome policy before it goes on streaming, that it will go on streaming. But when it goes on streaming, watch it, check it out. The best movie I've seen so far.
And fun fact, Stanley Tucci looks the exact same.
They all do, but man, the second the Tooch showed up on screen, I was like, this movie's incredible. And I'm not hating on Project Hail Mary. That's my number 2 movie. And that movie, I mean, box office wise, is doing better than Devil Wears Prada 2 by like $20 million. But
I think it's got a bigger audience for it too.
Yeah, no, definitely, especially if you read the book and the Gosling.
Even if you hadn't, just the sci-fi, I think, has a broader audience than what Devil Wears Prada is going to get.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
That's a rough one.
it's hard for me to say maybe when I'm looking at the numbers right here, and I'm like, well, no, like it's what you said was true. More people. But, you know, and as you guys know, Project Hail Mary is my most anticipated movie of the year. So, for me to say Devil Wears Prada 2 is better, and again, not better as in, like, it's a better movie, but it's just, I don't know, you can't even compare. Devil Wears Prada 2, amazing. My most disappointing movie I've seen this year for any of my otters, and if you watch my otters, you would know, is the movie Normal. I won't get into it too much. I was expecting to go in and watch a fun, stupid action movie, and it was just a stupid action movie. So
Sure it wasn't just stupid?
no, because there was a lot of action.
Okay.
No, but like it wasn't. The action didn't even grab me. There was probably 2 or 3 scenes where I was like, "Yeah, action." The rest, I was like, "You're just being violent to be violent."
Yeah.
And I mean, John Campea even said, "Action without purpose is just visual noise." And I think this whole movie was just visual noise. There was nothing really behind the action.
See, I can't remember the actor. What is his name? What's his name?
Oh, from Normal? You don't know?
It's Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
I can't think of his like
it's
name.
Saul. What do you mean you don't know his name, dude? I'll give you one chance to figure it out.
Paul?
No, Bob Odenkirk.
All right, Bob Odenkirk. He was way better in his John Wick knockoff. Nobody.
So I never saw Nobody.
Oh, I love Nobody.
And I hear Nobody too. I hear that's action with a purpose.
Yeah, they're John Wick knockoffs.
And that's good stuff. And
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going to be like, oh, I haven't seen Normal yet, and maybe it'll be like Normal, maybe it'll be like The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Was not any of those things at all. It was just dumb. But it's subjective. You guys could probably watch it and be like, John, you're dumb for hating this movie. I get it. But I will say it's my second to last lowest otter viewing. And so
I assume
yeah.
you're probably part of that because I assume it didn't have a big audience that watched it anyways.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting Mortal Kombat to be number one in
Like
my
most
otter viewing.
viewed?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't like Mortal Kombat.
I didn't. Okay. No, I changed my mind.
Because outside
did
of the
you?
movie,
Okay.
Mortal Kombat also has the video game following. So whether or not they went to the movie, they could have seen that and
That's
been like,
a good point.
let's see.
Actually, I did just lie. I looked at my numbers this morning. Backrooms is actually
Did it pass?
my number. Yeah.
Nice.
Which go watch Backrooms. It's terrifying, but it's great. No, I saw Mortal Kombat with my brother-in-law in Omaha the second time I saw it, and I realized that this is a movie you cannot watch alone. You got to watch it with a friend. It was so much better watching it with somebody else than just me watching it alone. So I've realized.
So it's like a gentleman's club.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good movie still, but boy, did I have a good time watching it the second time than the first time. So I'm like, yeah, sure, go see. I also think I took it too seriously, and I explained that in my Reflecting Otter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And if you guys want to know more about my opinions, Cody's in some of the otters also. If you just look up Out of the Theater Review on Instagram, or just type in the acronym OOTTR, you'll see it. It'll pop up. The otters themselves are the profile picture, and we'll just keep it relevant. There's going to be a YouTube channel out soon, hopefully. So
I'll eventually be in an otter. I just got to get through baseball season.
Oh yeah, no. Once you're done with your responsibilities, I'm excited to have you be part of the Otters and what you think. And and shout out to Regal Cinemas and Regal Hollywood Theater in Columbia, Missouri. Go check them out. They are the only Regal cinema in Missouri with an RPX. And if you have Regal Unlimited, you get to see RPX for free. So we're not sponsored by them, anyways.
Hey, Regal.
If you wanna.
But anyways, that's all my otters. That's everything. I could go over box office numbers if we want to keeping things relevant.
We didn't do your most recent otter.
Yeah, you didn't talk any about that.
What was...
This is the movie me and you
Oh,
saw.
you and I went and saw
have
it.
the power.
Oh, dude, Master of the Universe.
Is that your biggest surprise of the year, or is it just
No.
what you expected?
No, my biggest surprise of the year was the drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya.
Oh, that's fair.
Hey, dude, I could not watch that a second time in theaters because of the emotional roller coaster I went on. I need to watch that in my house so I could pace back and forth. Watch that movie. It's a great movie.
Makes you want to fist somebody, right?
Like Fisto.
Yeah.
What? It's not Mechaneck. It's Mechanic.
Mechaneck.
Yeah.
Or a Ram Man.
Did
You know, because you ran, man.
So, you guys know mine and Cody's opinion on Master of the Universe because of the otter that you all, of course, watched. Alex, I don't know your opinion. What did you think?
I thought it was a perfect rendition of 80s bringing to now cinema. Like 80s cartoon with comics and everything else, bringing it into like the modern age. I feel like they brought it really well. For the most part, they balanced the action and comedy and the lore almost perfectly. My one gripe that I would have is that I felt like the jokes lasted like 2 seconds too long.
Okay.
Per joke. Like, because there was some moments in there with Man-at-Arms, played by Idris Elba, that like, there's a real serious moment, and I thought the emotional connection was going to happen. And then like, they shoehorned in like a joke from a callback from something earlier.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I get why you did it. I understand why you did it. During the final edit, I think I would have cut it right there. To let that levity set for a little bit. Like the one I'm thinking of is that he's having a moment with his daughter, Tila, and like they go in for like an emotional reconciliation.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Adam's like,
Hugging
hugging.
him too.
It's like,
But that was so good.
I think
where we were in the movie, I just felt like it was funny. It was funny. But it's also like the point of the movie, where we're at that time, I more appreciate the reconciliation versus the joke.
I have to agree with you on that. I saw that movie twice, and each time I thought, why couldn't their moment be long and then Prince Adam coming in to hug be short, where they did the opposite in that movie, where it was a short moment and way too long of a hug. I think that is a perfect example of a joke that was literally 2 seconds too long. I felt, and I know I'm prejudiced, but I felt Skeletor's jokes, though, they all landed.
They were. I can't believe I'm about to admit this on a media that's about to be out there. Jared Leto
Yes.
played Skeletor almost perfect.
Finally coming
No.
Oh,
That does not confirm the Joker.
That's what I'm hearing.
Would you say Skeletor was aesthetically pleasing?
I would definitely say he's aesthetically pleasing. But I think his jokes landed great. Like, he played that, like, campy, like, we're in the serious moments really seriously, but then it's like, oh, I'm not taken seriously outside of these moments at all. And I think that was perfect. Now, another good joke that I thought of just now that I thought was kind of really funny, and I now thinking about it, it's way funnier, is whenever the pig dude wakes him up, and he's like, if you don't hurry up, I'm going to turn you into sausage for my breakfast like your mama.
Yeah. Jeez. I remember that. He said if he dropped it.
Oh,
If he
yeah,
dropped
that's right.
it,
That's
yeah.
right.
Cody, what about you? What do you think about this Masters of the Universe? Or what do you think about what people are saying about it?
I know we've talked a little bit about it. It sounds, based on box office numbers and from more what you've been hearing, because I don't get out enough to actually see what people think of it. It sounds like people are taking it too seriously. And I don't know why. It's one based on an 80s property, so I expected some of the cheesiness of the 80s. Don't get me wrong, you could have made it more serious, but if you did that, it would have either had to have been a super serious, like, almost no jokes in it kind of movie, or you had to have the cheesiness of the 80s, or it doesn't work. If it's anywhere in between that, I don't think it hits at all, because it feels too serious, but, like, not serious enough.
See, I would almost argue another point of, like, if it went serious, this wouldn't work. I think there's so much weirdness in it that if you took this serious, you're going to be like, sci-fi B movie goes on the channel immediately.
That's why I said, like, it would have to be crazy serious. Like, if there's any kind of jokiness to it, it doesn't work. It has to either be where it's at, or it has to be too serious for its own good.
I do think this movie was, though, a little too catered to people that either watched Masters of the Universe growing up, or, like me, is familiar with it, was familiar of it, but also watched the Dolph Lundgren one as well. And I'm not just talking about the Dolph Lundgren cameo, but just that movie alone. Yeah, it was the 80s, so it had its own campiness to it. But that movie alone still set the premise of, like, what Master of the Universe is and who He-Man is and Prince Adam. And because of that, I watched this movie and I was like, okay, I understand the cartoon. I understand the Dolph Lundgren live version. I very enjoyed the Dolph Lundgren cameo. I think for newcomers, though, I don't think this movie was really meant for newcomers. Unless you're like a child. Like, my children loved it, but we're talking about the ages between 4 and 8. You know, anything older, I don't think it was meant for them. But that's my opinion. I'm not sure what you guys think about that.
I can see your point on that. It does feel like if you were, like, 13 to, like, 20 or something, and you had no idea what He-Man was, or the Masters of the Universe, or whatever, like, it probably doesn't hit the same. But I felt like what they did was almost perfect for it.
I think they're kind of confusing the properties, in all honesty. So, spoiler warning. 1, 2, 3. I think they're confusing He-Man and She-Ra.
Okay.
Because She-Ra is more serious. Because she never left Eternia. She was kidnapped and went to a darker place.
Yeah.
And, like, if He-Man was introduced as, like, something campy in this, it didn't get serious until She-Ra. And, like, the stakes were there.
I think that's true. I also know a lot of people are getting this confused with, say, something like Thundercats. Because at the same time, Thundercats was a big thing, and they also had their whole sword thing. And when I talked to some people, they were like, yeah, I remember this and this. I'm like, no, you're remembering Thundercats. Which, honestly, if you ask me, is a very understandable switch-up. Just because at the same time, that's like confusing, like, Big Bad Beetleborgs and Power Rangers. It's like, no, I could understand why you confused that.
I'm pretty sure the Thundercats also crossed over with He-Man at some point.
I do. I'm gonna look that up. Actually,
Nothing would surprise me.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna look it up. Let's see. Did
Like, it just seems like they would, and if not, that was a terrible marketing fail of the 80s.
If not, then that was like the coolest dream you ever had as a kid, wasn't it?
But overall, I thought it was great, and Idris Elba was probably the hidden gem in that movie.
Yes, the Thundercats crossover and Master of the Universe did happen. Oh, in the comic books. Okay. All right. No, it was a comic book thing.
Okay.
You know what?
Which makes sense why I would
That
know.
counts. Yeah, right. Idris Elba did amazing as Man-at-Arms. I can't ever remember who played Prince Adam, but he did amazing.
He's a new actor. I
He
do
is.
know that.
He did great. What's her bucket that played
Tila.
Warrior.
So
Warrior
weirdly
Queen.
enough,
Queen Goddess, Warrior Goddess. That's her name. Yeah.
So weirdly enough, were you sitting there? I know this isn't who did it, but I was sitting there watching her in the scenes with Adam, and I was like, she kind of looks like Dakota Fanning. Or is that just me being blind?
No, she didn't remind me of Dakota Fanning. She reminded me of, one second.
That might be you being blind.
I'll take that.
It could also just be some
Really?
people see things that other people don't, so it could just be that too, that you picked up on something.
Really quick, just so Alex actually is legally blind. So Cody wasn't just being like, what are you, blind? No, like he actually is legally blind. So, no, she reminded me of Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, I see that.
That's fair.
Like a young Olivia Wilde, yeah.
Hopefully less crazy.
Maybe.
Time will tell.
Time is a son of a gun. Overall, I liked the movie. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was something my kids really enjoyed. I didn't like it less the second time. I don't think I liked it more the second time. And
did the jokes hit the second time?
There were some other jokes I didn't realize in the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was like, oh shoot, that's hilarious. No, the jokes still hit, except for the one we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And all of Skeletor, I love Jared Leto, but the way he portrayed Skeletor as like a Shakespearean poet wannabe, like, was perfect.
That fits.
And the second time that I saw it, like, Skeletor's jokes and what Jared Leto did actually hit harder the second time than the first time.
Is that because you kind of knew what he was doing with the character
at
that time?
Yeah, I the first time it was fun because I experienced it, but now that I knew what was going on, I was like, oh, this is the part when the sword doesn't work. And it was... the way that scene right there was what finally sold me for Jared Leto as Skeletor. When the sword didn't work, and then he does that extra.
He did make the noise.
Yeah,
too.
I was like, yeah. Or when he's like, we could talk about this with your long sword and your muscles and your loincloth. And I was like, what the freak, dude?
Oh, no.
And I was like, that's it.
So,
this is the perfect Skeletor.
One of the funniest... I laughed the hardest at this one, and no one else in the theater did, but I thought it was hilarious. Whenever he grabs Adam when he's, like, monologuing at the end and taking him through, like, his past during the movie. The best Skeletor version when he walks in, he's like, coffee cup and suit, and he's like, I see that... You didn't like it here either. And it's like, oh my god!
I will say the joke that landed more the first time than the second time, but probably because it was annoying, was his boss. I remember when I was watching it with Cody, I just leaned over to him in the theater. I was like, I would stab myself in the gut if she was my boss.
Yeah, but I think
1000%.
that's what they were going for, though. So, like, that reaction is what they were going for.
No, and that's the thing. This movie, they knew what they had. They knew what they were going for, and I think they executed it 100%. I think, like Cody said, people, for some reason, were taking it too seriously, and I personally don't know why, with a name called either Masters of the Universe or He-Man.
Or when you have characters like Fisto.
Yeah.
Or Ram Man.
I'm glad you brought that up again, because I actually like the change of the names of where they came from.
Yes.
Because it makes so much sense in this universe, since he had to leave at like 8 years old. I think he was 10. Either way. In his head, he didn't know their names. So he was just like, Ram Man, Fisto, like, I love that aspect of, like, no, their nicknames came because Adam wasn't able to remember their names.
Yep.
And I think my final point on it is I really appreciate... I'm not a loyalist or purist when it comes to, like, it has to look exactly like the original IP. If you want to take creative liberties on yourself, go right ahead. That's the whole point of this art, is to be creative. But I do think it worked in their favor for having all these heroes of Eternia and the heroes of Skeletor to look just like the animated cartoon. I think that helped out so much, and I really do applaud them and the artistry behind it to do that. But
I was kind of surprised they did that, in all honesty. Like, seeing Lockjaw in real live action, awesome. Seeing that. Now, I am kind of surprised at the end they didn't hint at Skeletor's master. I was a little bit surprised, but I think they kind of did with the end credit scene, because that's that person's arch nemesis is that person.
Yeah.
So, like, they kind of brought it, but kind of didn't at the same time.
I will say, though, unfortunately, I don't think we will be getting a sequel, because as of right now, I understand we're going up to its second weekend, okay? But we're only at a total of $63 million and 38 domestic. And it only opened to like a $28 million weekend.
What was...
As well over $100 million budget.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was an expensive budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was number 2 opening weekend, number 4 by the end of it, and it's been number 4 since. If it could stay in that number 4 spot with, Disclosure Day coming out this weekend, Toy Story next weekend, Supergirl the weekend after that, if it could stay number 4 through all that, hey, you're good.
If it's one of those movies that just has staying power instead of like crazy opening, that'll help.
But do we think that's going to happen?
I think it's going to blow up more on streaming than it will at the box office.
Unfortunately, I think you're right on that. The issue, me personally, I think it went against a hard opening weekend with Scary Movie. That's me personally. I know we talked off camera / audio about it, but me personally, I think it went up with a hard task of Scary Movie.
Also didn't help. I know it was a short run, but the Amazing Digital Circus, don't ask me what it is. I haven't seen it, but I know it is an animated show. They had a release in theater, and I know Thursday when we went to see, like, opening night for He-Man, they said Amazing Digital Circus was by far the busiest thing they had. So those few days could have also kind of killed it.
I went to Regal Cinemas the following Tuesday, and they were still showing that.
Oh, were they?
And it was still, because when we went opening weekend, it was lines in there. I thought it was for Master of the Universe, and it wasn't.
It was for Amazing Digital Circus.
There was so much people. I even took a video of it and a line waiting to get into the, not into the theater, but to get to the ticket person so that they could get to their screen. The following Tuesday when I went, it was the exact same thing.
Was it? So it had a longer run than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a few day window on that one, but I know that did really well as well.
It did. But,
See, I've never heard of that show.
Don't get me wrong. Before this, I hadn't really heard of it either, but I know, like, from what I've seen, it's got a decent, like, cult following to it. So the fact, and I believe this was, like, the start of the final season. So I think that's what kind of helped things with it.
which, by the way, since we're talking about box office and whatnot, I just want to really quick where we're at right now. We have our first $1 billion movie, which is the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. I thought it was going to get to at least $1.2 billion. It's just sitting there at 1.0.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting that 0.2 at this point. It's
No,
too
but
far along.
hey, you know what? When we live in a world where, it only made $1 billion is the comment, I think, you know what? We're getting a third one, and it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Michael, which, I'm not... Yeah, exactly right. $894 million.
It made $894. Nice.
That one's
And it's
kinda
still going.
surprising.
It's still going.
You think that one's surprising?
Just because biopics don't usually get quite that number.
This was predicted...
Fair, but this is like
Don't
the
you-
pop king.
I get you, but I don't even think Bohemian Rhapsody got that high.
Well, it didn't, but people were saying that at CinemaCon 2 years ago when they first showed this, that this might be the first biofilm to make $1 billion. Hence,
After watching the movie and seeing, granted, I know it's inflated because of the story, but like after seeing everything, Like, don't get me wrong, I'm old and I remember Michael, but like, I didn't realize it was that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's crazy. By the way, Michael. So it came out in May. No, in April. April 24th was the opening weekend. We're all the way at June 11th, and it is still on the top 10 of the box office. It left top 5 June 5th.
So last week.
Yeah.
Which was last week, which was with Backrooms and Obsession, Scary Movie.
Just forget the dates. You know, we're just keeping it relevant.
Last week, because of He-Man, Michael. So shut up, everyone. Yeah. Because of He-Man, Michael was no longer in the top 5. And then it went to 7, and now it's back up to 6. And it just made less than $1 million for the first time. June 11th, which was $870 million. $870,000. So when people were saying that, I mean, look at this. We're at May 10th, and it made $14 million.
I'll take your word for it.
So it,
because I can't see.
Yeah, because you're blind. Yeah, so my fingers were holding up.
6.
Yeah, close enough. So yeah, no, the thought of it being bigger than Bohemian Rhapsody and having it be a $1 billion film, yeah.
Now, here's since you haven't seen Michael yet, have you, Cody? All right, so John.
We should go do that.
Question. With Michael and Bohemian Rhapsody, which one has the more... That's not how I want to say that.
You're going to say true, weren't you?
Yeah, which one do you feel like told the story more accurately versus itself?
I think if we're going with the character of Michael Jackson versus Freddie Mercury, I think they were more true to Freddie Mercury and who he was versus Michael and who he was. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunate as in me like really nitpicking this movie, I feel like they made Michael Jackson look too much like a perfect individual, and the only flaw was that he didn't like his nose. Versus where Freddie Mercury.
I'll fight you on that one.
Okay. Well,
it was very clear in that movie that there was one other person that he hated.
Yeah, his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like everyone knew his dad was trash before like that movie.
Not true. I didn't know how bad he was. I knew he was bad. I didn't know he was that bad.
Yeah. If you watch that Jackson 5 show when he tells everyone he's done, like that was exactly how it went down.
Yeah, I knew that part. I just didn't know how bad Joe was.
Yeah, no, Joe, and the reason why I trust a little bit more on who Joe was versus who Michael was that if you look at the credits, the executive producers and the producers of the movie was the Michael Jackson estate and his brothers and his sister. Janet was not in the movie because she personally asked not to be in it. And they're like, okay, fine.
See, I didn't know if that was true or not. My sister asked me about that, and I was like,
yeah.
It was either that, or I told her it's because they couldn't afford the IP of her. She wanted more money for her IP to be in it.
No, she didn't want to be in the movie, and out of respect, they were like, that's fine. And it was weird not to see her, but it was like, I get it. But when you saw that the siblings were the ones that helped create the story, it really makes you wonder how bad Joe was for them to have Joe Jackson like that in their mind and go, yeah, we like the way you're portraying our dad. And to approve that as the producers. So
it had to be rough on that actor, though. You think so? Like behind the scenes.
Because I don't think any actor enjoys playing a trashy person.
Well, no, I mean, like, more or less, like, when their own kids are, like, on set. And, like, having to reenact these heinous acts.
Yeah. So, like, reenact the dad in front of, like, Tito or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that had to have been wild. So, which story do I think is more true, I guess? And I know what you mean when you say that. I would have to say Bohemian Rhapsody just because of the focus points of both movies. But they did a really good job showing the struggles Michael Jackson went through from when he was a child to him still being a child, but as an adult and trying to bond with his brothers that way, because his brothers got to have a childhood, he didn't. And so it was it was really cool. And what I really liked most about the movie is that it showed how that he had no privacy. When he got in a fight with his dad and got driven away, outside of the gate to their home was just dozens of people holding up signs for the Jacksons. And it was like, yeah, Michael Jackson had, none of the Jacksons, but Michael Jackson had no privacy.
Oh, no, like, it's going to sound bad, but I like, at the same time, you got to remember I was a kid.
Yeah.
During Michael's reign as a pop king, I thought he was the weirdest dude ever.
Oh,
and then after seeing this movie and seeing like all his childhood trauma and everything else, this kid had childhood trauma enough to where he just couldn't act right.
Yeah.
I say that he couldn't act right. It's more or less he had so much trauma that he just wanted to be a kid, and that's why he had like all his friends the way he did.
If we we were comparing Bohemian Rhapsody and Michael, and I know you were Cody were surprised about the box offices and whatnot. Mm-hmm. On Box Office Mojo, they have this cool versus thing that they'll put up. Yeah. Right now, they have Michael versus Bohemian Rhapsody at the 49-day total. So I guess it's been out for 49 days. Yeah. When Michael being out now with 49 days has made $358 million. Domestic, of course.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody at 49 days made only $182 million.
Yeah, that's why I was a little surprised Michael was that high. Because Bohemian Rhapsody was very well received.
Oh yes, because
the only negative I heard from it was that Queen, the other members, were upset that they showed Freddie Mercury and them have a rift towards Freddie going solo when it was not that. It wasn't actually that way in real life. It was more encouraged to we don't want to do that sound, you go ahead and go do it. Mm-hmm. And then they came back and did Live Aid together.
There were several things in Bohemian Rhapsody that were played up for obviously movie purposes, have drama in it, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know the one thing in common that Bohemian Rhapsody and Michael have in common?
Is it Mike Myers?
Yes, it is!
Yeah, baby! Yeah!
The greatest cameo in both of them.
I literally cheered when I saw that. I literally, fists in the air, was like, yeah! And
now, I will say Bohemian Rhapsody's better because he quotes his own movie.
Yes, but I like the fact that they brought him back. And then the way he was like, he picks up the phone in that phone call.
Yes.
Like, yes.
Well, we were sitting in the theater, and my kids were with me, along with my sister and her fiance. And I look over at my sister and her fiance, and I was like, that's Mike Myers. And they were like, no, it's not. And I was like, yes, it is. That's Mike Myers.
F you. I know Mike Myers when I see him. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed Michael. I do understand why it's number 2. I thought it was interesting that Project Hail Mary's number 3 at only $680 million. I thought it was going to be a little more, but I think that's when I fell into the fan base of it.
That's probably fair. But 680 is still very good.
Oh yeah, no, very respectable. Many directors would kill to have their movie be that much. And then of course Devil Wears Prada 2, 665, so close, 665 million. And then I'm not counting Pegasus 3 because reasons.
Well, you got to get into Pegasus, man.
I don't know what that is.
I have nothing against Pegasus.
So it's a horse that Zeus made.
Shut up! Shut up!
I don't know what the movie is. I haven't even heard of that one.
I have nothing against Pegasus 3. I just have something against where those box office numbers come from. So I'm going to skip that. That doesn't even exist to me. So number 5 to the John box office is Hoppers, which I saw glimpses of that the other day.
Wait, that's still in theaters?
And
he's going box office
World
Gross. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not.
Which is Hoppers at $372 million. We don't have enough time to talk about Mandalorian Grogu.
That's a separate episode.
Catch us on a side tangent that me and John will do.
I'm really curious to see when the audience hears this episode where these box office numbers are.
Yeah.
And where...
Some of them obviously won't change. Position-wise, they will, but obviously actual numbers,
yeah.
I'm really hoping Masters of the Universe has legs. Because, like, I really want to see a sequel to that.
Same.
I honestly don't know. I usually have a good prediction of that. I got nothing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I didn't like the last Transformers movie. But when you tease G.I. Joe and Transformers, I really want to see that movie.
Yes. 100%. It's like if Thundercats showed up at the end credit of Master of the Universe. I would go watch it. I'd give it all my money. I'd be like, dude, we're making the second one, man. I'm watching it every day. But anyway, that's all. I mean, that's all I got as far as box office. I don't even remember how we got on that subject, but
I bet y'all know after I edit this episode.
no, I bet you after I hear the episode, I'll remember.
And then we'll get to that point, and you'll forget it again.
Oh, facts.
Now, I guess with obviously looking at the box office, right now they're doing well, but we know they haven't exactly been the greatest the last couple of years. It's been trending up since COVID, obviously. It couldn't get much worse, but obviously still wasn't exactly where people wanted. I know right now you've looked at it, John, and we're closer to pre-pandemic numbers, even possibly like on par, or at least close enough to say it's on par.
Yes.
The question is, can we keep it up? Do we think the rest of the movies this year can actually keep that going, or do we think there's going to be a drop-off at some point?
I think for the rest of 2026, we can keep it up. We as in a theatrical society, we as in the cinephiles, can keep it up. I don't know about 2027.
So you think next year might be when it struggles again?
I think next year, because I mean, look, this year we got Moana, Supergirl, Spider-Man, Doomsday.
I'm gonna say I think some things have changed since I left the theater industry, but I know last time I looked, this Christmas schedule was supposed to be nuts.
It still is.
It still is.
I know the big one that moved was, I believe, Shrek 5 has moved.
They moved.
Yes.
They moved because they didn't want to have to deal with the other two that are still there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jumanji.
And even like the week before, so I was counting that as just like what's going to be out at Christmas. It was crazy this year.
And even Jumanji, technically Jumanji 4, but Jumanji 3 moved from the week before to the week for like. We're talking about Dune. I call it Doomsday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we're talking about Doomsday. Jumanji was supposed to come out the week before Doomsday. They decided to come out the week after.
Smart, because
smart.
Doomsday had to move a week up because Dune wrote their contracts perfectly.
Yeah.
No, Doomsday's still coming out the same time as Dune.
The last I heard, they
nope.
Really?
It's
I'm
still
sure
the same.
There was a lot of back and forth between.
There was back and forth, and the
one.
fact that that Dune won the IMAX bidding wars. When Jumanji moved, they were going to be like, oh, they're going to move back, and they thought at CinemaCon they were going to do it. The Disney presentation at CinemaCon, I got a message on my phone saying, confirmed, Doomsday, December 18th. I looked up to see Dune, just to double check, December 18th. They are both still on par to open up at the same time.
So they said, screw the IMAX money.
They said, yes.
Fair, any Marvel property, I say any, obviously some haven't done great, but generally when you think about it, they probably don't need the IMAX most of the time.
Now, I do know, and
that's a tough fight right there.
This was... I'll say within the last 3 months. I won't give a definite answer, but I did talk to some higher ups over at Regal.
Yep.
And they did say because they don't need to follow the IMAX agreement. They just have to follow their own RPX or whatever.
Yep.
They did say they will show Dune 3 opening day on RPX, and maybe up to 3 days after, for the continuing run of Doomsday until something else comes up, they will be showing Doomsday in RPX.
See, I could have also seen where they'd like go back and forth with them.
They usually do, but they think it would be better off for them to focus on
one over the other.
Doom. They said there might be some matinees that will be showing Dune 3, but because Dune 3 has the IMAX agreement, they're pushing for Doom to be on RPX. And I'm really curious to see what happens with that.
I'm a little surprised that like the IMAX didn't just include all premium formats.
Well, at that point, you have a monopoly of premium.
Yeah, but I thought that was the idea behind getting IMAX.
You wouldn't have a monopoly because it's an individual contract with set dates on it.
Sorry, it would be
different.
What's it? A monopoly?
Oh, it's more or less just because of the time frame that it's in. The contract, it wouldn't fall under that purview.
Yeah. Plus, IMAX is its own like entity. Which, by the way, IMAX is on sale. It's for sale right now. If you guys want to go in on that. So
I don't have that much money.
Okay, all right. Well, really quick, again, keeping it relevant. Really curious to see what's going on. Oh, by the way, Paramount and Warner Brothers, that's still happening. Do your own research. Anyways, rumor has it that the two runner-ups to purchase IMAX are Apple and Sony, and I would not be upset about either of them.
That's probably
I
fair.
would hope that Apple gets it, I would hope Sony gets it before Apple.
I was opposite, but we'll argue about that later.
Okay.
So, anyways, you were saying.
I guess obviously, it sounds like you're thinking next year's when we dip. The thing, obviously, with COVID, and even if it does dip again, was how do we, I guess personally, what do you think would be a way to get people back into the theaters?
Me personally, I would suggest that, and this is going to be for
you say
certain things, but like do almost like events. I know that sounds very broad, but where you have on the East Coast and West Coast, they both have premiere nights and do things on that night. On opening nights, just do like something extra for bigger properties to bring them in.
I know at one point they used to do a little more of that. It wasn't ever, everywhere did a lot, but even Fulton would have like, I think when one of the Harry Potters came out, Fulton had like a little frame thing to look like you were on the Wanted poster and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, they could do more of that stuff. The main reason I also bring that up is because I know at CinemaCon, I don't remember who it was, CEO or just some big wig in it, talked about ways to get people back in, and a lot of those I didn't think made sense. I thought that was coming from someone who didn't actually feel like they were in touch with
what's going on,
what's actually happening.
So that's funny you say that because that was that was the head of Sony.
That's who it was. I
said
who
that.
It was or what
and if there was any studio head, again, in my opinion, that was more in tune to what's going on, I would say it's Sony.
I mean, that's fair. I don't remember exactly what all the points were that he brought up. I just know we've talked about it off recording before, and there were a lot of things that it was just like, this doesn't feel like they actually know what's going on, or they only care about their side of it and not the theater side.
Ooh, I never thought about it that way before. You gave me something to think about now.
One of them might have been like cheaper ticket prices. I think they might have mentioned, and I could be wrong on that, but like,
aren't the production companies the reason they're that high?
Yes,
which is part of the problem. He mentioned bringing down prices, but the reason prices are so high is because the actual theater doesn't make anything off of them. Their margins are next to nothing on actual tickets. So if you want the prices to come down, the studios have to take a smaller portion.
Well, no, I think the biggest issue, if we're talking about lower ticket prices, is that stop paying the actors $8 million on average.
I mean, also that, but that's a whole, that's really any industry, whether it's acting, anything with sports. I mean, a lot of professional sports people are overpaid. But
when you have everybody trying to get Tom Cruise money and they're not Tom Cruise, and the studios are like, yeah, sure, you 5 people could have Tom Cruise money.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the production went from $100 million to $140 million. Let's up those ticket prices because this movie might flop.
Yep.
I don't like that. Anyways, I'm going to get yelled at for that take. I remember.
I don't think it's wrong though.
Oh no, I don't think it's wrong either. Yeah, but like, really quick, we're keeping it relevant. World Series is on right now.
That's not the World Series.
That's what I said. The World. I said the World Cup.
The World Cup Series.
Yeah, FIFA. Gosh. Anyways, Alex is enjoying his time. He's blind though, so you know.
Not blind enough to see we scored.
The point he made that I remember you and I discussed on social media was not screen time.
Ad time.
No, not ads.
Not the ads. I know that was something.
How long a movie is in theaters before taking it out.
Oh, yes.
That was we talked about ads, but the one
I think that was something he mentioned as well.
But the number one thing you and I really talked about was longer show times.
Yeah, longer in-theater runs.
Versus putting it out on streaming.
Yes. And that is partially, I think that might be the biggest where he's not looking at it. Because, one, the studios are the ones that argued to get the theatrical runtime as short as it is now. It used to be a 90-day exclusive window, so you knew the first 3 months, the only spot you could even find it would be in theaters.
Yes.
Now, it's a 45-day window, so they cut that in half.
Do you think that has something to do with the fact that it is also the studios that own these streaming services, so they don't understand where the line is because they have to run both companies, maybe?
I do think that, and the other part of the whole longer run times, if a movie's not doing anything, and obviously I'm hoping like He-Man has legs, but say for some reason it falls off super hard, why would I keep it in the theater if it's bringing in nobody when I could have something that brings in people?
That's a good point.
I can't run it just for the sake of running it. It has to be worth it.
I think a good point for that was when you and I saw They'll Try to Kill You.
They Will Kill You.
Or They Will Kill You. Yeah. And you really liked that movie.
I thought it was okay. I mean, I'm not going to...
I think you liked it more than me.
To say a movie is, like, really terrible. Because obviously we've had our worst movies taken. For those ones, like, that's me genuinely thinking they're awful. A lot of times I'm like, if it's somewhat enjoyable, I'd be like, yeah, go give it a shot, see if you like it. I don't think it was amazing. I thought it was a fun, weird little movie.
I got you. I said to you when we got done recording The Otter, I said that movie is only going to be in theaters for 2 more weeks.
Yep.
And
that was on opening night.
Yeah, and that was on opening night, and you were like, it might be on longer. And then we saw what was coming out after that. What was funny was that the week after, I talked to one of the managers at Regal, and I said, how long do you think They Will Kill You will be out for, since last week was its opening weekend? And they went, next week's the last time we're showing it.
Yeah.
We can't, they're like, we have all this other stuff getting out.
I know that's the thing that was hard for me to guess, was because it's like, well, it really depends what's coming after, because sometimes if it is just a slow release schedule, even if something's not doing well, it'll just stick because there's nothing else.
I do like Disney's, but here's the thing, I think it's easier when you're Disney, where they're straight up like, we don't care if it's one screen playing it at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to have our movies out for 100 days minimum before they go on streaming. Yeah. And we're talking Disney. We're not talking Fox, or we're not talking
Sony or Lionsgate. Or
all this. Well, Sony's in control of Disney stuff. It's not. But anyway, that's a different thing. But Disney is like 100 days minimum, and then we'll see what happens from there. But because of that, even if it was just one screen in one theater, throughout the whole theater, because of that, if you look at the movie Elemental, it had a horrible opening weekend. Oh, yeah. It had a horrible first month. Yep. But because of their stance, it ended up getting legs, and it ended up making so much money that I wouldn't be surprised if they made a second one. So I understand what you're saying with, like, if it's not making money, make it room for money that will. And you're speaking more on the studio standpoint of that.
That's more on the theater side, not the studio.
Okay, on the theater side. At the same time, I'm like, okay, well, what about something with Disney where they're like, just have it play for 100 days, dang it. I don't care where it is.
I just know, like, from the actual, like, operation side, like, if you're not getting people in, you just can't, like, you have to have people in the door. That's the only way you stay in operation.
And that's where I get to my point, which is, like, if you're going to have me in the door, give me a reason to come in the door.
Yeah, which is obviously why I brought up the what are your thoughts on keeping things going? How do you get people in?
I think... So movie theaters are not in the movie industry. They can give a crap about the movie. They are in the snacks and food industry. What I think, and I'm not going to go into my whole knowledge of everything, comment if you want it. I think you need to give me a reason to have this place be the place to be.
Yep.
I'm not talking arcades. I'm talking bars/pubs and restaurants.
Yeah.
Give me restaurant price food that could either get delivered or I could carry myself to my theater.
Yeah.
And we're good. I talked about in one of my otters that I went to a theater in Nebraska called Twin Creek Theater by Marcus Theaters. Don't ever go to that theater though. That's all I'll say about it. I was going to do a review on it like I did for the Regal. Such a bad experience, I couldn't even fathom the words. Don't go. Anyways, what I did like about it was that I could order a whole large pizza there for me and my family.
Instead of just like a personal pizza.
Yeah, and mozzarella sticks on the side, and they had slushies.
Yep.
And drinks, but I could go over and fill up my own slushie and my own drink. I didn't have to have someone else do it for me. And that alone... Like, as much as I had a horrible experience at that theater, if that's the only theater around that does that in that area, I'm just going to have a crappy movie-going experience, but at least I'm eating a pizza while I do it.
Yeah. I know more and more places are starting to get to that level of food. Obviously, your small operations like Fulton or somewhere like Chanute, Kansas, or some of these smaller areas, it's hard to do. You're just not big enough. But obviously, the bigger the city, the more they are starting to do the big food stuff. I'm honestly surprised that Regal doesn't have more in Columbia, but I think that's because that place just needs a remodel, and with that, I think they'd get to that food level.
So I can't confirm nor deny this.
I feel like you can confirm it.
I mean, technically, he's probably not allowed to do that.
There's word on the street. Because recently Regal invested $70 million into their theaters.
Yep.
All I'm going to say, with what you just said, plus a few other things, keep a lookout at Regal Theater in Columbia for the next 6 months to a year, we'll say.
Yeah, okay.
Those numbers might not be 100% correct, but
yeah.
especially the Regal part, or the RPX part.
That's fair.
And maybe I'll tell you guys off camera.
Okay.
But,
deal.
Yeah.
So I do think food would help. I think turning it into more of an event, like an opening night event or something would help.
Or like that, what did we talk about, that circus thing?
Amazing Digital Circus.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. So they've started doing that a little more. The biggest one they've done, like, TV stuff with, is something I will never support, but if you do,
I'm glad you brought that up.
The Chosen has been the biggest, like, TV thing they've done in theaters. It's got a huge following. I don't care about it. I never will. I will never support it because it's stuff I don't care about. But if you're religious, if you like the series, yeah, go support it. But they've done multiple seasons. They've done the beginning of the season. They've done the end of the season. And then I believe it was the last one they actually did, like, every 2 or 3 episodes they had out for like 2 weeks, and they do the next grouping, and then the next grouping.
You should look at the box office numbers for the final episode of The Boys. And that's all I'll say.
Did they do that in theaters?
Yes, and you should look at the box office numbers for that.
That's weird, by the way.
Yes, but you should look at the box office numbers for that.
That's a weird one to throw in.
In a good or a bad way?
In a good way.
So it is like...
That's why I said that's a weird one.
Yeah.
So I figured it was good.
But I think what you said with The Chosen, but because of The Chosen, we have something like The Boys.
Yeah.
And I think that as a testament
Hold
alone.
on. Did we just really put the Jesus?
That's
with
right.
The boys?
That's right.
Yes, we did.
Because of Jesus,
We have the boys.
we have the boys showing in theaters, and that really does
And if you don't know what
testify to what Alex said.
if you don't know
about
what the
events.
boys is, it's that much funnier.
Yes,
Gosh,
100%.
go-
Especially
hey.
the last season.
Go check it out.
One other thing I'd like to shoehorn in. I think another big issue is something we've kind of talked about earlier, is that the CEOs or presidents, insert title of the production company of whoever's running it, the biggest issue is that they're so out of touch with their shareholders. And when I say shareholders, if you know project management, your shareholder is technically that incorporates like the people who invest in the company and your consumers. They're so out of touch with one aspect of their shareholders, i.e. the consumer of the products, that the gap between them is so big that they have no idea what actually will bring people in. And I will, example this with Paramount. The Paramount CEO is an absolute jackass and an idiot whenever he says that no one wants CGI animation everyone wants CGI 3D animation and they don't want 2D animation, and that's the reason he gave to pull Atla from theaters, which, by the way, that is Avatar The Last Airbender, and it is probably Paramount's highest grossing property that they own.
I mean, there's a reason.
So Paramount doesn't own Avatar?
They own Nickelodeon.
They own Nickelodeon.
Oh, yes, they do. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, not Blue.
Yeah.
People.
Not Blue People.
Yeah.
Atla,
Okay, yeah. I was
Atla,
like, what are you
Atla.
talking? No, yeah. Okay, hey, yeah. That was a stupid thing for him to say, and for them to pull that from theaters. Oh my gosh.
There was a reason before Paramount bought Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon made their own studio dedicated to the Avatar universe.
Yes.
Because they saw, even after the botch that was Korra, and I'm not saying I don't like Korra, the botch was the fact that the studio didn't give them the run they needed for it.
I'll give Korra 3 seasons. Just 3.
The last 3? No, anyways.
No, the first 3.
Either way, the problem there was that the studio season to season was having to decide whether they wanted to renew it, where the original, they knew they had 3 seasons to tell the whole story.
Yeah, they had the Young Justice dilemma.
Yeah.
So, even outside that, obviously Nickelodeon realized their mistake and went, okay, we're going to make a studio dedicated to this. And for Paramount to pull it was already bad, but obviously now it's got even more issues surrounding that after some dude leaked the entire movie months before release.
Don't get me started on that.
If you
I won't watch it just because I want to.
If you've already watched the leak, you better go to the theater. Because
they pulled it from theater.
Well, you better watch it on streaming.
You better buy the digital version of that sucker, or go to Walmart, pull it out of the $5 bin.
Well, there's a fight to try and get it back in theaters. If it winds up back in theaters, go watch it. If it stays on streaming, watch it on streaming. Either way, the artist worked too hard for that movie to get leaked the way it did.
Mommy Toph needs justice.
You know what? I'm going to stop tapping the table.
My bad.
It's okay. I was tapping the table last episode, so ditto to what you guys said. I won't completely call the new CEO a jackass. I know things are kind of weird with him right now. I just wish,
Like a jackass.
yeah. Jackass. Last one's coming out. Anyways,
Yep.
I just wish he would just stick to his original plan, because he actually does love and care about movies and cinema. He's just
really
are getting in the
no,
way.
I'm seeing the
shut
opposite
up.
right
No,
now.
he does.
I get that.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anime, anyways.
Oh.
No, he doesn't care because anime's not art. Anyways, I'm just kidding, Cody. No, he clearly does care. He's just being dumb.
He's listening to shareholders too much.
The opposite of the shareholders. Like, the other end of the spectrum of shareholders.
Honestly,
Actual shareholders.
we got a real cat dog situation here with Paramount.
Yeah.
And
I see what you did there.
yeah, right. And Honestly, as of right now, again, because we keep it relevant, this might come out 5 months from now.
Yep.
And I could be putting my foot in my mouth, but I just kind of hope for the best for him. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a real crap show. I think the merger is going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be good. And that's about it. I just, maybe I'm right. This reminds me of the time.
They better not touch my DC. That's all I gotta say.
Boy, we don't have enough time for. We really have enough time for.
I'm talking
my
about
story.
the comics.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, no, this reminds me of the time when I ordered the big arch burger, and I was like, I'm gonna show this guy. I'm gonna take a big bite of this burger and show him what's up. And you know what? You guys see me eat. I can really take a big bite of something.
Yeah.
You know what? My bite was about the same size as his bite. Maybe we all just kind of judged before we found out for ourselves,
That's fair.
Maybe I didn't 100% know. So that's kind of how I feel about Paramount right now. Maybe I'm just judging a little quick. I don't know. So
That's not a bad take.
So, anyways, close us out, Alex.
What is this? A city for ants?
I forgot that's how he closed.
I'm Alex.
I'm Cody.
I'm John.
We're keeping it relevant.